I wanted to spend a few moments to talk about the way I set up my Ring cameras and even my Wyze camera in my HomeKit app. And specifically, the functionality I wanted to have was the ability to see and have my recordings in the HomeKit app itself for Apple Home. The reason this is important to me is that it allows me to go through and know that one, everything is secure, but also it all lives in the same place. So pulling in the Wyze camera in combination with the Ring cameras was something that was a little bit challenging, but worth doing. And there was a few snags I had along the way that I wanted to cover. First, let's cover the Ring cameras. So when I set up my Ring cameras, it was pretty intuitive with Scrypted. I'm using Scrypted with the plugin. I'm not using hacks at all, just the Scrypted plugin in the add-on store using a repository. And in doing so, I'm just running this as the add-on in Home Assistant. And the Home Assistant, The Home Assistant is running on a virtual machine, a Hyper-V machine with Oracle, on my regular PC that is just now pretty much been jerry-rigged just to only run Homebridge and Home Assistant. So with Home Assistant set up, I installed the Scrypted add-on using the repository. And once I added the Ring cameras, there's a couple things I need to make sure I did in order to get the functionality I wanted, because it wasn't as simple and easy as people make it seem. The first thing that you want to make sure that you're doing when setting this up is you want to set up the HomeKit extension and set it up in a way where it is being paired as a standalone accessory. That's going to be the most important factor here. When setting this up as a standalone accessory, it's going to require you to set it up individually using the HomeKit QR code for the device, but it gives much better functionality. Additionally, I wanted to show the extensions I have turned on. I don't have anything fancy or configured to make this work. I don't even have OpenCV running. But the biggest caveat that I learned when setting up my Ring cameras was that you need to have your settings in the Ring app on your phone changed to a specific layout and in a specific way. Basically, the setting that you need to make sure that is enabled or really disabled, and when you click on a camera, is the motion settings. So when you click into a camera on the Ring app and hit motion settings, you'll see that there are smart alerts and advanced settings in that portion. For the smart alerts, you're going to want to turn this off. And for the advanced settings, you're also going to turn off advanced motion detection. Basically, what you want to have your Ring camera set up as is where it will record any and all motion. That way, it will be porting that motion over to Scrypted and HomeKit, so then it can decide, based off the toggles you put at that point, what you want to capture, what sections or what clips that will be in the HomeKit app. This will drain your battery more on the Ring cameras if they are not hardwired. So that is important to know. But if you want the videos to be in HomeKit where you can scroll backwards and see them, this is essential and very important and kind of a must do or must have. The Wyze cameras or the Wyze camera was a little more difficult and took some more finagling, but I wanted to show how I had that set up so that way you have an idea of the setup process for that. So going back to devices, I'm going to click on my living room cam here, and you'll see with my living room camera, I have the HomeCV motion detection enabled. This was the key factor that I had to use to get my camera working. So under, let's see, the motion detection setting here, these are the settings I have. I really didn't change these at all. I did do the analyze button just to have it analyze whether that did anything or not. I'm not entirely sure. But at the end of the day, when I enabled this, that started allowing the camera to record into HomeKit. I went in also and played with a few of the settings in Wyze itself, but I did notice that using the plugin in Scrypted for the Wyze camera and then comboing that with the extension OpenCV did give me what I wanted. It was allowing me at that point to capture the recordings for the motion triggers that I have set up. I do have a 32 gig drive in my camera, which I don't think makes that much of a difference. And I did not, flash the camera or do anything specific to the camera. I'm just running it as it kind of was set up and configured just off the rip. And this is what I was looking for, was that I wanted just to have the most straightforward and easiest way to set this stuff up. So this is really what I kind of did to configure the Ring and the Wyze. So hopefully this helps somebody. I was really struggling with the Ring cameras to make sure that it was capturing the motion. For whatever reason, it would kind of work, kind of not, and it was really getting frustrating. And then I found that whenever I turned the Ring camera setting for it's a different camera. But I realized when I turned on finally, I got a dog in my front yard. When I turned on the setting or turned off the setting in the Ring app on my phone to really just record any motion, and I turned the sensitivity up too, that was able to really resolve and fix my issues. One last tip I want to throw out there really quick is that under HomeKit, if your camera that you're trying to pair is a doorbell camera, I would recommend clicking this doorbell automation button. It will then port over an actual doorbell into your HomeKit that will show you that if it was pressed, it's an actual tile, so you can create automations and configurations based off that. So something also worth sharing that I think could be helpful to somebody out there. So hopefully this video was helpful and it made a difference. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to stay on top of them and answer them. I know this can be confusing, especially to someone like me who's just now kind of getting into all of this stuff. But again, I think these with Wyze and Ring, pretty straightforward with Scrypted, but a couple of different small tweaks here and there that can really make the difference for your setup.